After a bit of a quiet start to day 2 of NFL free agency, the Broncos have made yet another signing. This one being Samaje Perine, and he appears to be the running back going into 2023. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown, where we break down all of the latest news and rumors on your favorite team. But Mike Garafolo in try number 2 on Twitter tweeted out, the Broncos agree to terms with former Bengals running back Samaje Perine on a 2-year, $7.5 million deal with another $1 million in incentives. So, this appears to be the Broncos' lead running back going into the 2023 season with the Javonte Williams injury lingering above. We're going to break down this move, look at some stats and all that good stuff in just a quick moment, but help us reach our next subscriber milestone. I want to get to 12,000. I want to reach for the stars here. 13,000 subs. We're 461 away. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. So Samaje Perine is on his way to Denver, the former Oklahoma Sooner. 27 years old. Last year, really, his whole entire career, he's been a backup and understudy to Joe Mixon. But a season ago, 394 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like I said, though, when you look at the stats, those numbers don't jump out to you as, wow, that is awesome. 246 yards, but he's always been one of the better backup running backs in the NFL, right? 4.5 yards a carry plus in 2021 to 2020. Now, the depth chart for Denver is a little bit tough to crack because I don't know when Javonte Williams is going to return. I have long stated that I have fears that he will not be ready or available for most, if not almost all of 2023. I'll be honest, though, when it comes to signing Samaje Perine, I was kind of hoping for a bigger free agent name like David Montgomery or Miles Sanders. Not because I think it's a great idea for Denver to spend big money in free agency on a running back, but after the shopping spree they had yesterday, I was sitting here thinking they might just go and get all the running backs because Denver has bottomless pockets right now, so when you go from spending $200+ million in day 1 to Samaje Perine, a backup running back, it's a bit of a fall, but I think Samaje Perine is still a good signing. However, this will be his first time being a lead workhorse back for what I think could be at least half of 2023. So a bit untested in that regard, but I do have some faith in what Sean Payton and George Payton are doing after the signings they made yesterday. So grade the signing for me. A, B, C, D, or F. It's not an A. It's not an F. I'm going to go B-, C+, right? C's average, and I think this is maybe a little bit above average, trying to be optimistic on the signing. But in terms of workload for Perine, he's never gotten over 100 carries in his career, I don't believe. So this will be the first time he gets the lion's share of the workload. And Denver made a lot of free agency moves yesterday that supported a run game following. So I thought they might go with a more experienced back other than Perine, someone who's been the number 1 before. This will be his first time. Here's my question, though. Ignore Samaje Perine for a second. Does this signing signal that Javonte Williams' injury may not be super serious? I think if they thought Javonte Williams would miss a lot of 2023, they might have gone with a David Montgomery or a Miles Sanders. But instead, they go with a cheaper Samaje Perine. 2 years, 7.5. That is less than $5 million a season. Potentially, this signals that they are expecting Javonte Williams to return sooner rather than later, so they don't have to spend big money on free agency for a running back. More analysis to get to in just a second, but today's show is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. You get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition when you go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Now, I started giving AG1 a try because I hated taking pills/vitamins and wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning and boom, I'm ready to take on the day. It really helps me with starting my day on the right foot and getting into a healthier lifestyle. Also, covering my nutritional basis for the day couldn't be easier, which is why I like Athletic Greens. All I do is just mix a small scoop of AG1 with water, drink it first thing in the morning, poof, done. I also really like that it costs less than $3 a day, which if you ask me is pretty good. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality source ingredients. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I put that link in the comments and the description of today's show, so make sure to check it out. Moving on here to some other free agency news and rumors. We'll recap you right now on all the signings made. Started with Ben Powers, 4 years, $52 million to replace Dalton Reisner. Jarrett Stidham to back up Russell Wilson. And then Mike McGlinchey, baby. Let's go at right tackle. Corliss Waitman is tendered. Chris Manhertz comes over as a blocking tight end. I mean, 3 of the first big moves were all designed to help the run, rather. Alex Singleton, the team's leading tackler, he's back on a 3-year contract. I think Zach Allen, 3-year, $45 million, might be a bit of an overpay. I just realized this is my first time talking to you guys since Draymond Jones got signed by the Seahawks. He got 3 years, 51 plus. This is 45, so $6 million cheaper. So $2 million a season if you want to go that route. Listen, Zach Allen's never had more than 5 sacks in a season. This is a bit of a rich contract for my liking, but hey, if Denver wants to spend a bunch of money, I'm not opposed to it. $32 million guaranteed, though, is a lot. You can't really move on from that after just 1 or 2 seasons without a good chunk of a dead cap hit. And then there's Samaje Perine, 2 years, $7.5 million. Now some rumors to wrap up today's show. We saw this yesterday, but in case you weren't with us, Dan Graziano from ESPN reported that multiple teams believe the Broncos could trade a wide receiver. We've known about this for quite some time. Courtland Sutton, Jeudy, and KJ Hamler being the 3 candidates potentially to be traded. Denver's not actively looking to trade one of these 3 players away, but they are taking calls, and maybe they've got a bigger listening ear than most teams do with players. But I thought this tweet from Benjamin Albright was interesting. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. Maybe it's simply just a fantasy football suggestion, saying if I were a dynasty fantasy football player in a PPR league, I'd probably quietly be making moves to acquire Tim Patrick. So is Albright making fantasy football suggestions in March for no reason? No. I think this is a bit of a hint of Tim Patrick's going to be in for a bigger workload this upcoming season. Why? Because maybe one of these 3 players is going to get traded. And I don't think this is talking about KJ Hamler. I don't think KJ Hamler being on the roster is taking a lot of receptions away from Tim Patrick. I think he's talking about either Jeudy or Courtland Sutton potentially getting dealt, and therefore Patrick thriving in a PPR league. Listen, between those 2, if I had to pick one to keep, Captain Obvious tuning in here, it's Jeudy. Now, Judy's going to get you more in a trade, so if you want to get a first-round pick back in this year's draft, Judy's the answer. But I think Jeudy is someone you want to build around right now, not move on from, especially with the way he ended last season. Sutton, on the other hand, it's tough trading away team captains and players who have been with the team for longer than most, but speed kills, and that is not one of his strong suits, and he's having a down past season and a half, really since the contract extension. Quarterback play has not been good, but he's paid a lot, and he has not lived up to that extension so far. So I could see Sutton getting dealt for a 3rd or 4th round pick. I just want to get this on screen for a moment. The Raiders, they traded Darren Waller away. Listen, Darren Waller has been relatively unavailable the last 2 seasons. He hasn't been that 1,000-yard receiving tight end since 2020. So maybe getting a third round pick isn't too shabby for him. But knowing the Raiders, are they going to do anything with that 3rd round pick? Probably not. I'll be even more confident about it and say definitely not. So shout out to the Raiders for trading away one of their better players. That should make life for Vance Joseph a lot easier 2 Sundays this upcoming season. I also have a theory of why, well, it's not even really my theory. I just want to share this theory of maybe why Darren Waller was traded. So I don't really know who Victor Four is, but he's got a really cool avatar with that bear right there. Oh, he's a beat reporter for Raiders. Okay. Thank you, producer Jack. So Vic said this trade comes 10 days after Darren Waller's wedding to Aces guard Kelsey Plum. The timing is only interesting because Josh McDaniels accidentally leaked the news of his wedding to reporters at the NFL Scouting Combine. Waller was upset with McDaniels when the Las Vegas Review-Journal posted a story announcing the wedding was scheduled later in the week. The couple had not publicly announced their plans to get married. I think it's a long shot, but you got to admit, if Darren Waller requested a trade quietly because he was so pissed at Josh McDaniels for this, that would be the most Raider thing ever. To lose one of their better players because Josh McDaniels ran his mouth at the combine and Darren Waller got pissed about it. Now, my next question is Kelsey Plum going to request a trade to whatever the WNBA team in New York is? Because Dov put out a really sentimental tweet about, after the wedding, he's traded to New York. Yeah, imagine that. But, sorry, Jack's a funny guy in my ear right now. So could you just imagine, though? Poor the new couple right here. They have to fly a couple months of the year. It's back and forth. I don't know how they're going to make it. But who do you think Denver should sign next in NFL free agency to kind of get back on track before we get on out of here? Good chance whoever you say in the comment section will be signed elsewhere in 5 or 10 minutes afterwards. But hey, shoot your shot right now. Who do you want the Broncos to sign next? I've heard some whispers, just whispers, of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. There it is. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in for the Samaje Perine signing and all the latest rumors on your Denver Broncos. We'll sign off and see you guys later when we get some more free agency news and rumors.